Hi BoLS fans, Larry Vela, and today we have the book you have all been waiting for, Gathering Storm 3, Rise of the Primark, Games Workshop. Hey BoLS fans, I'm here with AdamHarry.
Hey everybody.
And here it is, Gathering Storm 3,
man.
Rise of the Primark. You have been waiting for it, we have been waiting for it.
It's here.
Let's flip that sucker over.
All right, let's
first thing we do.
real fast.
Okay, so, first things first, you never see the backs of books, so it's always good to see because there's all kinds of little hints. First of all, who's that?
That is Guilliman.
And who's that?
That is Cypher. And who are those guys behind Cypher?
That looks like a bunch of hey, those are like Dark Angels dressed in black.
Ooh, pre-heresy Dark Angels.
What's
going on?
Why did they paint the Dark Angels black?
it's some Fallen.
Yes.
Yeah, and then of course Grey Knights too. No, not to downplay the Grey Knights presence, but they are definitely here too.
Yep. And there is Voldus.
Yep, the new Grandmaster. That's the new Triumvirate, basically.
Yep, pretty much. So we have all the basic stuff. Let's take a look. What is in this book? The culmination of the Gathering Storm storyline. First of all, that's interesting because that makes it. I assume that there's going to be other books in this narrative because Games Workshop has said that this is going to be a narrative that's going to go all through 2017 and even into 2018.
Beyond, yeah.
But this first part of it, the Gathering Storm part of it,
the Gathering Storm part is stopping.
Correct. So there's
this
probably
is the end of the Gathering Storm.
Yeah. So there's probably not going to be a Gathering Storm 4 or 5. It'll be whatever the new name is.
So then we got Face Chosen Champions. That's going to be Guilliman, the Grey Knights Grandmaster Voldus, and Cypher.
A bunch of new missions. Forces of you get data sheets, detachments, war gear, and relics for the Ultramarines, as well as new data sheets, formations, and rules for the Grey Knights and Fallen Angels.
Whoa! Nobody's talking about Fallen Angels.
Exactly.
They are in this book.
So, it's surprised to me.
Yeah. Wow. And then there's 4 new missions to play around with, and then a bunch more as well. A bunch of new rules. So.
Okay. Flip it over.
Let's get.
What do we got?
Inside. All right.
Done.
Awesome artwork throughout the book, right?
Yes.
Like pretty much.
Like crazy.
Crazy awesome artwork.
There he is.
There's the cool intro pic.
The man himself.
And just a heads up, we are going to go through the table of contents. We're not going to go through every single page on this book.
Yes.
So if you're expecting one of those reviews, that's not how we roll.
Yep.
But we are going to show off some choice stuff. We are going to go through quite a bit of the book, but not everything.
We want you to buy this book. The goal of this is we're not going to be showing you every page. We're going to be showing you some of the cool things.
It's a guided tour of the awesomeness of this book, of what you can expect to find.
So first things first, we have table of contents, 136 pages.
Yep.
It looks like the rules start on page 100. So we have
90 pages of story.
So the vast majority of this book, as you can tell, is going to be all the narrative. So
and go read it. It's interesting. It's laying the foundation for the future of 40K.
And tons of people are in it.
Yeah. Speaking of people that are in it.
Yep. Speaking of people that are in it, over here.
Dramatis personae.
So there's been all kinds of talk about what's in this book and what's not in this book and who's going to be in it and who's going to kill who or whatever. So now we know. Let's take a look who's actually in this book.
Yes, we have Guilliman, obviously. Severus Aegismon, he's captain of the Ultramarines First Company. We've got Tigurius, of course. Voldus, of course.
Marnius.
Calgar's in here.
And Secure.
Spoiler real quick. Does Calgar bite it? I gotta know.
No.
Okay, moving on.
He's good.
Cypher's in here. Sicarius is in here.
So all the Ultramarines you would expect.
Is in here. Mount Marshal of the Black Templars.
He's been in there since book 1.
He's the Black Templar guy that's been running with. He's having a rough go. We've got the Heroes of the Imperium. We've got Call's back. Ardonis is the shield captain of the Adeptus Custodes, so he's going to show up probably in the Imperial Palace, right? So.
Celestine's back. Greyfax is back. So they're all in there.
Marinor is the Aquila commander of the Adeptus Custodes. So we are going to see some Custodes action.
Eldari.
Yep.
With an A and
an
I.
And the Vizark. The Veilwalker's here as well. I don't see mentions of the Incarn.
The Incarn is not in this book, but the Veilwalker, who has been
in all 3.
The Harlequins are clearly up to something. They've been up to something all 3 of these books. So again, the Shadow is back.
Okay.
And then Agents of Chaos, this is the big thing everyone is waiting for. Who's in this book? Who's not? Magnus is in this book. Kairos is in this book. Scarbrand.
That's a shocker.
You know who's not in this book?
Who's not in this book?
Abaddon.
Oh.
Not at all.
So there's no Cypher, Ninja, Kung Fu, killing Abaddon.
He's sitting this one out. Now, he's sending plenty of minions.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of Chaos Marines.
Because there's some Crimson...
that are under his control.
Right.
But he
Crimson Slaughter dudes show up,
himself, he is not in this book.
Okay.
Makes no appearance.
All right, so that's the whole stuff going forward. We're going to skip around a little bit.
Moving on.
Tons of cool art.
Tons of cool art.
Tons of cool
Obviously, we have something big and new.
Yeah.
And whenever there's something big and new, Games Workshop is going to put a lot of art into it. It's not just, hey, look, it's another picture of a Land Raider. It's Guilliman's back. So expect, and they have pulled out all the stops. There is tons of crazy artwork of the Primark in this book.
Yeah, so what do we want to show off? I mean, let's talk the story real quick. This is the first chapter.
Right. So we have a big, huge, giant story here. We're not going to, like I said, we're not going to walk you all the way through it. We're going to be doing kind of little light spoilers. So obviously, this book picks up exactly, I mean, almost to the moment where Book 2 ended. So Book 2's cliffhanger was, it's all crazy. We need to go to Ultramar. All of the Imperial Triumvirate and the Eldar Triumvirate, they jump into the webway portal. They have Call's box with his mystery,
magic box
of mystery, and they're like, we need to go to Ultramar.
It's Ferrus Manus' head, right? That's what's in the box.
It's not Ferrus Manus' head.
Dang it!
It's not Ferrus Manus' head.
What's in the box?
So they jump into the webway and they say that they're going to be going to Ultramar, and then boo, and that's the cliffhanger.
Okay.
So this book starts, bam, they walk out of it.
Are they on Ultramar? Are they on Macragge?
No.
Okay.
That's the first thing. So they are not. They show up in a system, so we're gonna talk about it. So this first page is basically they show up in the middle of a battle. There's a huge giant battle. They're on a world in Ultramar. It's near Macragge, but it is not.
It is not, okay.
So they're gonna have to get there. And first they're gonna have to fight their way out of this.
Sure, they gotta fight, yeah.
And really quick, what's going on here? We'll flip the page.
Okay.
It's a standard Games Workshop book. You're gonna have all kinds of.
I love the space maps.
I love maps. Yeah. I am totally a map dork.
That's where they land.
This is where they show up. They show up on the Shrine World of Lapis, which is in the Macragge system, but it's not actually.
It's not Macragge proper.
Exactly. So they're close. They're going to have to fight their way off it. They're going to have to get over there.
I mean, how big of a shock would it have been to the Ultramarines if the Eldar had a webway portal to Macragge?
It probably would have been bad.
Yeah, could have been bad.
Could have been embarrassing.
Yeah.
So there isn't one. They showed them, so they sent them here. So
or
here,
is there?
And so basically, the first act of this book, we're not, like I said, really lightly, is they're going to show up and they're going to have to fight their way to Macragge, and it is all under a giant attack of the system is under a full invasion from the forces of chaos.
Okay.
Lots of Chaos Marines.
Lots of Chaos Marines.
Lots of Chaos Marines. Okay, so.
And how did the Chaos Marines know to go to Macragge?
I'm going to assume that somehow, Demons in the Warp, they
talk.
They gossip. They know all this stuff.
Another really cool art piece.
Yeah, they're fighting their way around
the Siege of Hera. They have the Fortress of Hera, which is one of the big Ultramarines.
Yep.
It's where they hang out.
So,
sharpen their knives.
Another spoiler, this book has tons of little tiny cameos in it. So because these books is definitely the big upgrading of the 40K setting, obviously Games Workshop is probably trying to shoehorn as many people into it as possible.
Right.
So while they're not major characters who have big important roles, tons of little people kind of show up here and there, as including Drago.
What? So that's all we're showing.
That's all we're showing.
That's Tigurius right there too.
That is all we're showing. Okay, moving past Reboot. So unlike a couple of the previous books. What we have in this book is we do get these aside pages, which are basically just little quick bio pages on the major important people, because there are people who are going to be reading this book who aren't 30K fans, or they're not immersed in the lore, or maybe they just started playing 6 months ago and they don't know who he is. Who is Reboot Guilliman? I don't know. Well, there you go.
You can also visit Lexicam.
Or later in the book, who is Cypher? There's a thing on him too. So,
but these little splash pages, these kind of take you a step back from the story, talk about the specific character, give you a quick history of them and all their goodies.
Exactly. They're not in any way part of the narrative. It's just, hey, here's who this guy is.
With this page. You can expect more of those pages throughout this book.
And back into the story. So they're going to...
awesome artwork.
There's, as you would expect, clearly the Primark rises. We're not going to give it away.
Not going to explain how.
You're going to have to read that to find out.
Wait for that. We got Grey Knights here.
There's Voldus.
Voldus here. Primark Guilliman.
Call's back there.
Call's back here.
Saint Celestine.
And I'm pretty sure we've got probably Sicarius in there somewhere. There's the Honor Guard. There's probably some other cool.
And we like to call these extras.
They're Black Legion Chaos Space Marines. With that guy standing around, I don't think it's going to go well. And his sword, that's the Emperor's sword.
Yeah. So
we have learned.
Not really a spoiler. He kills them all.
Yeah. Not a shocker.
Okay.
Shocked.
So.
After the big fight.
Once again, after the big fight, we're going to go to this page. We're going to spend a little bit of time here. So clearly, he's going to be woken up, and gorgeous artwork.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this artwork. First of all, for all you people on the internet, you can now officially stop using
the playa.
The playa pimp Marnius Calgar on the throne, because now you have
you've got his dad.
Now you got the big guy.
He got Guilliman
on the throne. He's Saint Celestine is crowning him. Calls in the background.
This is basically a picture of his coronation.
Yeah. Greyfax is there. Ivrain is there. There's an Eldar there. The huge. I mean, this is just gorgeous artwork. So all kinds of cool things happen. We're not going to give you big giant spoilers, but there's some.
I'm pretty sure that's Calgar right there too, because he's got the big power fist and he's in Terminator armor. I don't know for sure.
So lots of really interesting things from a background point of view. So you guys, 40K enthusiasts will remember that Ultramar now in the 40th millennia is kind of a small enclave of worlds.
Yeah.
But in 30K, it was part of what was called the 500 worlds. Mm-hmm. So it was this really decent sized meaty chunk of the Imperium.
Yeah. It was like Imperium Secundus. It was like its own little mini Imperium.
And they ruled all of it.
Yeah. And
what is revealed in this book is that towards the end of, shortly before his death, after the heresy, the reason that Ultramar is so much smaller now is that Guilliman basically had a bunch of treaties and paperwork with the outermost worlds of the 500 worlds and said, you know what, we're just going to take care of our little core area because we're busy.
Yeah.
And you can all be independent. Until
these treaties.
First, at some point in the future, he comes back. He realizes, oh my gosh, it's terrible. We need to start kicking butt immediately. He rescinds all those treaties immediately.
The future's grimdark. Your treaty is revoked.
So now you're part of us.
You're part of us again.
So the 500 worlds is going to be coming back in some real way.
Wow.
Which is very cool.
And to top it off too, as we find out later in the book, he's heading back to Terra.
Right. He then
decides. Who does he leave in charge?
He leaves Marnius.
Yep. Calgar is still around, still in charge, still kicking.
Yep.
He was like, "Hey man, you did great. I'm proud of you, son. Here's the keys to the house. I'll be back in a bit. I gotta go visit Grandpa."
Yeah. And by the way, the house now has 500 worlds. You're gonna have to take care of that.
Yeah. So get on that.
Yeah. As usual, if you love Games Workshop, their big giant miniature spreads.
And their awesome fog machine.
And their huge, crazy fog machine.
They got a deal on a dry ice, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's the dry...
Half of the dry ice
dry ice emporium of Nottingham does good business with Games Workshop. Alrighty, moving on. So
and that was just chapter 1.
Yeah, so he has made a decision at the end. After the first chapter, he has awakened and he has decided, I'm going to leave my serious high-ranking guys in charge, and I'm going to Earth. And I'm going to get a whole bunch of my buddies who want to come with me, and we got to go.
We're going to take the Triumvirate with me.
Right, and we're going to go.
And now, we're not going to give the rest of it away.
We're not, but we're going to show you some little pieces. So this is an interesting page, and we're going to tell you why. What happens on this page is, so Marnius Calgar is reawakened. This is the first time an Imperial Primarch is reawakened and walks as a living breathing being in 9,000 years. What this page is saying is this is all about what does Chaos do. So Chaos quickly figures out, hey, this guy's alive.
It's not just it's a loyalist Primarch.
Right. And as you would imagine, every one of them in their cartoon supervillain ways decides that they're going to take him down, and this is how they're going to do it.
So instead of working together in a unified front, what do?
Well, they're chaos. They can't do that.
Bingo.
Right.
They come up with their own schemes.
So Tzeentch says, "Oh, I'm going to have all these complex plans, and I'm going to manipulate him and make him do exactly what I want." Ha ha ha! And they dispatch their people, and Khorne says, he's going to be the best skull ever for my throne, and he dispatches his guys to go kill him. And Nurgle wants to watch all of his efforts rot away to nothing. So they're all going to start fighting amongst themselves.
Is like, whatever.
But the interesting thing about this page is that while they don't appear as dramatis personae up in the table of contents, 3 and only 3 traitor Primarchs appear on this page by name and have dialogue. They're talking to each other.
Magnus the Red.
Magnus.
And the Death Lord Mortarion.
And
Fulgrim.
So those 3 guys, and only those 3, are mentioned in here, and they're actively plotting and talking about stuff.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna maybe say that's a teaser for something that Games Workshop might have planned in the future for future expansions.
Where's Angry Angron? That's what
He's not in there.
Nope.
Not in there at all. All right, so moving on. we're going
skipping ahead.
Skipping ahead.
Just more cool pictures.
They're going to be fighting their way out of Ultramar. There's a bunch of Alpha Legion. They're going to get their butt.
Of course, there's Alpha Legion. Come on.
Of course, there is. You know, not a big surprise. I'm going to flip way over to here. There's going to be a pit stop halfway through this journey. It's going to take them into the Maelstrom.
This is basically a Grimdark road trip.
Yes, it's a big yes. So they're gonna they get onto the party bus and they go. At some point, of course, as they go along the way, they're gonna be going from world to world. You know, facing various challenges. Different minions of chaos and factions try to stop them and turn them away. You know, along the trip. At some point, they get trapped in the Maelstrom, and when they're trapped in the Maelstrom, that is where
there is a Scarbrand fight, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There is a Scarbrand fight.
Spoilers there. Oh. There's not just a Scarbrand fight.
That's a Kairos Fate Weaver.
That's a double-headed Fate Weaver.
So
that's Kairos.
At some point, they're going to encounter Fate Weaver. He's going to try to manipulate them. Ooh. They're going to fight Scarbrand. He's going to try to chop his head off. But
he's wearing his helmet.
He is, because he's smart. There is going to be a moment where there will be a link up with Cypher.
Okay.
Along the journey, because Cypher is clearly
part of this.
He's clearly part of it.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. More awesome miniatures. Again, Kairos.
Staring down Guilliman.
The Saint.
Yep.
Tons of demons. Pretty awesome. Chapter 3. Who's that?
Cypher. Yep.
Cypher. He's involved. And there's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations. This is a piece of art that you guys have already seen. Games Workshop showed it off to you, but we're going to show it to you also
because it's so cool.
Because it's
There's
so
a
cool.
Scarbrand fight.
There he is. That is the Marnius Scarbrand fight.
Very cool.
And it is epic.
Now he took his helmet off for this fight, so
maybe I don't know. Maybe he got knocked off.
I don't know.
It's hot in that thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's going to be battles, mini battles. Here's another big giant one.
Wow.
You can get whatever teasers you want to from this. Marnius. Magnus.
It's an M&M fight.
Thousand Suns, Tzeentch Demons, Harlequins, Ultramarines,
Adeptus
Mechanicus, Black Templars. Wow. Who's that in the corner?
Well, who I can't see. Oh, it's Adeptus Custodes.
Custodes Force.
We got the Saint here too. We've got Call. Holy crap! There's a ton of stuff going on. Some Black Templars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they found a new light for the fog machine. That's
good job. Cool. We like that. We like that. So there'll be big giant battles. And then,
so much cool artwork.
And then we are not going to in any way tell you what happens towards the end of the story. Clearly, he's gonna reach the throne room. Stuff is gonna happen.
Spoiler: he does make it. What happens next? Go read and find out.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut here, and we're gonna go check out some of the rules now. So
and the miniatures.
Let's do miniatures first, and then the rules. So we're gonna cut right here. We'll be right back. Here are the new minis that are coming with this book. This is of course part of the Triumvirate.
This is the Triumvirate of the Primark.
Cypher.
With
some Dark Angel dudes, some Fallen.
Looks like a lot of Fallen Angels.
We got Voldus and his heroic brothers hanging out fighting some demons, and of course the Primarch.
Being Grey Knighty, and the Primarch, once again, just beautiful.
I want this model. I don't even play Ultramarines and I want this model. I think that was the point though, right?
It's like how many U's are on him.
Oh.
It's a contest.
He got all of the...
Whoever figures it out. He also has that he has the 13 giant rodeo belt buckle.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, I would have.
If you were the Primarch, I'd do it too. Okay, moving on. More miniatures. All of the details there. Cypher's apparently doesn't get hot. Totally badass.
Yeah. No, that thing is. Yeah.
So he's got cool. that. And Voldus, he has books.
Voldus has all the books, but he also swings in initiative.
He does have a swings in initiative demon hammer. So
it's a trade.
Maybe given the choice of that or the doesn't get hot plasma pistol, you go with the hammer.
I don't know.
I think you go with the hammer. Okay, this is what we want to show you. Check this out. Who are these guys? 2 full pages. This is going to be a big strong hint of what is in this book. You get full pages of Fallen.
Why would they do that?
How to paint them up. All their iconography, shoulder pads, tons of examples.
I love that it's a mix and match of the Heresy era armor with some of the more modern stuff.
Absolutely. Like you could totally make a squad of Fallen if you go buy yourself a
box of Dark Angels,
a Dark Angel tactical squad,
and the Heresy era whatever.
Yeah, like
Mark IV, Mark III Marine, whatever. Mm-hmm. And mix and
match them. You can make guys who look just like this. They look totally badass, as you can tell. Fallen Angels are they're a big part of this book.
Yeah, which is interesting because they're back. Nobody was talking about them being back, but they're totally back.
Came out of nowhere. The rules, we're gonna not be going really deep into the rules. We're gonna tell you about a lot of the stuff that's in here, but we're not gonna be showing it to you. But we do have one very, very special thing that we are gonna show you.
We'll get to that. We are gonna show a couple of things off, right?
Okay.
Here's just the big spread.
It's all the basic stuff.
Echoes of War missions. Now, we counted earlier, there's actually 9 missions in this book.
Yes.
So if you are looking for alternate ways to play, this book's got you covered. So if you want to play through the entire story, it's got all the missions. Can we show off one mission?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of the major narrative battles that happen in that giant 90-page story are in this book.
It's like 1 mission per 10 pages.
Something like that. Yeah, so all his major encounters, he's going to fight Scarbrand, it's probably in here. He's going to fight Magnus, it's probably in there. He's going to fight, the big battle where they have to fight off. They're surrounded by Black Legion, and they're trying to wake him up using Call's secret box. That's in there too. So all the cool things.
The fight between Cypher and Abaddon, not in here. That didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Yet.
Didn't happen.
All right. If it does.
Don't troll the internet.
I'm sorry. It's not in here.
Okay.
Yeah. If it is happening, I don't know.
Okay. So we're gonna skip through all of those.
Lots of those.
And we are going to show you one thing that is very cool.
All right, what do we got?
Okay, so here's the first thing.
One more thing.
Well, here's the first thing.
What is that?
What is that? This is the thing that no one was talking about that is in this book.
What is that?
And that is a new faction with an allies chart for fallen angels.
Okay. I just want to point this out. This is going to get the internet talking, right? Because looking at this is a new faction.
Right.
I'm just going to read some stuff here real quick. We're not going to speculate on camera here, but I'm going to let you guys speculate. The Fallen Angels faction has the following levels of alliance. Battle Brothers, armies of the Imperium, except Dark Angels, Chaos Space Marines. Allies of Convenience, Dark Eldar, Harlequins, Necrons, Orcs, Renegade Knights, Inari. Desperate Allies, Tau, Come the Apocalypse, Chaos Demons, Gene Stealer Cults, Khorne Daemonkin, Tyrannid. Neither Cypher nor the Fallen may be included in an army that includes any model with the Dark Angels faction. If not filled as part of the Fallen Champions formation, Cypher can be selected as part of a primary detachment, blah, 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 blah. Key thing though, calling this out one more time. Battle Brothers, armies of the Imperium except Dark Angels, and Chaos Space Marines. We're going to leave it at that.
Yeah. There's going to be some craziness.
Just want to leave it at that.
So, not only that, in this book, we're not going to show it to them. Mm-hmm. This book does have, obviously, ciphers in it. We do get rules for Fallen.
Yep.
We do get a formation for the Fallen. So there's Fallen stuff in here, and
you can play as Fallen.
And the stuff that is in here is different from rules that have appeared previously. So it's new stuff.
Okay.
It is.
Leave it at that. Leave it at that.
Yep. There's also, we're just going to tell you now, there is a new mega detachment that, just like the previous 2 versions of Gathering Storm, the first one had Stellans of the Imperium, the giant mega detachment for the Imperium, and the second one had the mega detachment for the Eldar. There is a mega detachment in this one as well for the Ultramarines. You're going to have to check.
There's also a formation to have the actual triumvirate of the Primark, so you can run Cypher, Voldus, and Guilliman as a formation. As
a big giant super team.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of cool stuff and data sheets in this book. Grey Knights are also in here. They get special formations. So they're, a special formation.
Yep.
And there's all kinds of stuff. So we're not gonna, what we are gonna show you, because you've been so patient. The thing
everybody's been waiting for.
Is we are gonna show you, of course, the man, the legend.
Guilliman.
Guilliman.
Oh.
All right. Take it away.
We're gonna break down the rules real quick. There's lots of stuff here. Obviously, everybody's been wondering about the points. There you go. He is weapon skill 9. He's got 6s across the board. Leadership 10, 2 up save. He is a monstrous creature character.
He is a monstrous creature. That's important.
That is important. Now, he's not an independent character, and he's a monstrous creature. So what does that mean for joining squads? He can't. But there may be a way around that. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Moving on. Special rules. All of them. Just take the special rules section from the Warhammer rulebook and no. He's got Adamantine Will, Chapter Tactics Ultramarines, Eternal Warrior, Fearless, Feeling No Pain, Fleet, Precision Shots, Precision Strikes, Preferred Enemy Chaos. And that counts Chaos, any units, all units with the Chaos Demons, Chaos Space Marines, or Khorne Daemonkin factions. If you are Chaos, he has Preferred Enemy against you. He has Lord Commander of the Imperium, friendly units from the armies of the Imperium, reroll failed morale checks and fear and pinning tests, while Guilliman is on the battlefield.
Not within a certain range.
Not within a range.
Not within line of sight.
If he's on the table, you re-roll morale checks, fear, and pinning tests.
It's crazy.
Primark of the 13th Legion. You can choose to enact a Devastator Assault and Tactical Doctrines, see Codex Space Marines, once each per game, in addition to any you can already use. Once one of these combat doctrines is enacted, all Ultramarine models in your army are affected. That means if you have an army that can pop doctrines like crazy, he applies them to all of them. Go nuts, Internet. That's crazy. Unyielding Will. Guilliman's leadership is not subject to negative modifiers of any kind, and he may reroll failed deny the witch tests. Wow.
So all your special powers
Have a pretty strong chance
that make him cowardly or whatever doesn't work.
And he gets to re-roll those deny the witch tests, which can be pretty huge.
And my favorite part, the cherry on top, because it's
his
just
warlord trait.
Because it's just funny. His warlord trait. Reboot Guilliman has all of the command traits from the Warhammer 40,000 the rules. So basically, you're going to go to that chart, read them all.
He has them all.
He has them.
We're not even going to touch on all those, but
we're just gonna
all
note
6 of them. He
that
has them
maybe
all.
it is appropriate because this is the man who wrote
He did write them.
the Index of Stars.
Relics of Ultramar. Here's his weapons. Everybody's been curious about these things. Saw a little bit of a teaser earlier. I'm super stoked about these. First off, the Emperor's Sword and the Hand of Dominion. So it is not one of the gauntlets of Ultramar. Calgar did not have to give those up.
Marnius still has those.
This is a different gauntlet with a built-in weapon. Shockingly enough, the Ultramarines are good at that.
You can see it right there.
Yeah. His weapons are used together using the following profile. Melee range, obviously. Strength 10 AP1 have melee, armor bane, concussion, soul blaze, touch the Emperor, and whirling flame. 2 of those are new. What do? Touch of the Emperor. Any attacks with this weapon with a to-hit roll of 6 are resolved at strength D rather than the strength 10.
Because sometimes strength 10 isn't enough.
Right? Whirling Flame. In the fight subphase, rather than making attacks normally, Guilliman can make a number of attacks with this weapon against each enemy unit engaged in his combat equal to the number of models from that unit within 1 inch of him. Meaning, if he's surrounded by 3 different units within 1 inch of him, he can attack each one of those units separately based on the number of models that are within 1 inch of him.
So he already has a lot of attacks.
He already has 6 attacks.
So it's not going to come up much, but every now and then, if he's completely hemmed in with just rings of models, he can take advantage. He can activate that rule and get a substantially higher number of total attacks than 6.
If he is in the thick of the fight,
he's just going to...
He can just whirlwind,
right?
Hadouken, whirlwind kick.
Yeah.
Just take everybody out.
Yeah.
On top of that, the Hand of Dominion also has a ranged weapon built in using the following profile. 24-inch range, strength 6, AP2, assault 3 rending.
So what does that mean?
It's either an assault cannon or a really awesome heavy bolter.
He has the best heavy bolter made.
Seriously.
Pretty much.
And it's under his arm.
Because it's right there. Yeah. That's clearly a heavy bolter. It's
an assault cannon stats in a heavy bolter body. I don't know. It's better than an assault cannon.
It has super bullets.
Super bullets.
Primarch bullets.
On top of all of that, we're not done yet. Armor of Fate. Armor of Fate confers a 3-up invulnerable save. Stop. He already has a 2-up save to begin with. He is a monstrous creature. He has a 3-up invuln on top of that. In addition, if Guilliman is slain, place a marker at the spot where he is slain. At the beginning of your next turn, roll a die. On a 4-up, Guilliman is restored to his armor. He's restored by his armor. Place him as close as possible to the marker, more than 1 inch away from any units with D3 wounds remaining. Otherwise, Guilliman is slain. If the marker on the battlefield is markers on the battlefield at the end of the game, Guilliman is considered to be slain. What does that mean? He has a 4-up. You killed me, just kidding. Roll.
Right.
When he comes back with D3 wounds, not 1.
Right.
But D3.
And let's think about this. How hard is it to kill him normally? He already has a 2-up armor. He has a 6 toughness. He has
6 wounds.
6 wounds, and he has Eternal Warrior.
And feel no pain.
And feel no pain. So this is a tough guy to get down anyway. And then
3-up invuln, 2-up save, feel no pain, Eternal Warrior,
and then on
6 wounds,
and on 4+,
6,
he comes back
4-up. He comes back
with D3 wounds. And in theory, if you were lucky, this is like like the old Saint Celestine rules. He could do it again.
Oh, it doesn't say that it's a one-shot thing.
Right. It's not the first time he dies. It's when he dies.
It's when anytime he is quote slain, you roll on a 4-up.
So all you guys out there in internet land, you 40K pro players, you know who you are. If you have those really excellent hoping skills and are good at rolling 4-ups, this is your guy.
Now, He is probably a Lord of War.
That is Lord of War.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just pointing that out. So, and it's quite fitting.
And that is all that we're going to show you guys. There's tons more stuff in the rules section. There's all kinds of stuff.
Again, Voldus, Cypher, also pretty awesome. Great models. I don't know what else to say, man. I'm pumped.
And that is Gathering Storm 3, Rise of the Primark.
Thanks for watching our little teaser. I'm AdamHarry from BoLS.
And I'm Larry Vela. Have a great one.